Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Stamp and Chat with Kay. It's great to be here this morning. Thank you for joining us. We're going to make a nature card. I hate to say masculine. It is a masculine card, but it's also a nature card, and I think anybody would enjoy getting this card, whether male or female. So just want to make that clear. I always have people point out when I say I'm doing a masculine card, they say, well, I would like this, and I'm a girl. So it could work as a masculine card. How about that? It's great to be here. We'll just give people a couple more seconds here to find us. And then we're going to get started because I have a lot of good things to share. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards to share today. So I can go ahead and get started with that, I guess. I will tell you that there will be a giveaway on Tuesday, and I thought something that goes really good with this card, because there's nothing on this card, just die cuts. There's no gems, there's no ribbons. It's very clean. But I thought something that would work well with it, if you did want to add something, would be the denim ribbon, or it just coordinates, you know, with kind of the look we're after. So I'll give away 2 yards of the denim ribbon, and the way you get into the drawing is to share this video. You can share it on your timeline or in a group or with some friends, and then come back and let me know that you've shared. Or to make comments on this video. You can just let me know where you're watching. It's always kind of fun to see where people are tuning in from. And again, I'll do the drawing on Tuesday, so that will be fun. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. So the first card that I'm going to share with you uses the stamp set called Rustic Retreat. This was given to me by one of my customers. Her name is Sherry Myers, and I just want to share this with you because I just think it's so pretty. So it uses some plaid paper at the top of the card. And then you can see it's one of those cards that opens up like this, which is great. It's kind of a fancy fold card, and very easy to create and put together. She has the woodland embossing folder down here, and then a few gems just to add a little touch of class, I guess, to this Christmas card. So thank you so much, Sherry. I really love it. The next card I'm going to share with you arrived in my mailbox. This one is also from a customer. It's from Julie Nelson. She's here local to me, and she loves to make Christmas cards. So she often will have her Christmas cards done by July, and that way when the new holiday catalog debuts in August, she's already looking for ideas of what she's going to work on the next year. So this is a card. I'm sure she had it done by summer, but it looks like this, and it's just really pretty. So here it is. Love it. So thank you so much, Julie. Very much appreciated. And then I have a New Year's card to share with you. I mean, like, who can't wait to say goodbye to 2020? Oh, anyway. One of our challenges in my downline group on our Facebook group was to create a New Year's card. And so Carol Sullivan created several, and she passed one on to me, and I just want to share it with you. It's so bright and colorful. So it's this one, and it's the Dandelion Wishes stamp set used as fireworks. Isn't that a great idea? And then she has a few die cuts in there, and it's just great. I love it. So much fun. Thank you so much, Carol, for passing that on. Of course, she decorates the inside as well. It says, this calls for confetti. You're darn right it does. Definitely. Okay. And we have more. So this card, I believe this is a swap card from my downline member, Stacy Kratz. And all of the next 3 cards are swap cards from my downline members. And they all use the Poinsettia Petals bundle. So get ready to be wowed by some beautiful cards. Here it is, the Poinsettia Petals bundle. It's so pretty. And she used the Old World paper to add accents to her flower. I'll see if I can hold it up really close so you can see this. So pretty, isn't it? I love it. All right, so thank you so much, Stacy. This is just a beautiful card. The next card is from my downline member, Michelle Baranek, and she did something really neat on this. She created this with, oh, is it shimmery white paper? It might just be regular paper, but what she did is she embossed all of the petals with white ink on white cardstock, and then she sponged some Highland Heather on there. Isn't that fantastic? I love the way that looks. So this is Michelle Baranek's card. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love it. It's just beautiful. And I know it looks like sponging in the background, but it's not. It's just that Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper, which is just fabulous. All right, and the next card that we have is a card created by downline member Brenda Hillard. So this one uses that red velvet paper, which I love. That is so elegant and classy looking, especially when paired up with those poinsettia petals. So this is a really traditionally colored Christmas card, and I love the Designer Series paper from 'Tis the Season. She did it as blocking in the background, which is a technique I haven't used in a long time. So this card I found very inspiring. Now I have to let you know right here, I'm going to pause and let you know that Facebook is not really working for me. I cannot see any comments. I hope people are watching. It says I have 17 watchers, but I can't see comments and I can't see any likes or hearts or anything like that. So if I'm not responding to your questions, I am very sorry. It's just not showing up for me on my iPad, so I'm kind of in the dark here. But I'm going to assume that it is sort of working on your end, and I'm going to go ahead and get started and keep my fingers crossed that this does eventually all work. So let me go ahead and pull the camera down and we'll get started. So the cards we're making today use the stamp set called Friend Like You, and I mistakenly called it a bundle when I was advertising for this Facebook Live. It's actually, it was a bundle at one time, but it is no longer a bundle, unfortunately. Let me hold this up close so you can see kind of what I did in the background, because this is one of those stamp sets that you almost have to hold in person, or one of the cards you have to hold up in person to really appreciate it. So you might notice that in the background there are some little some cattails stamped in the background. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I did it tone on tone, and I just think it looks wonderful. So let's go ahead and we'll get started creating this card. All right, so the first thing, let me show you what the stamp set looks like. So the stamp set looks like this, and you have a variety of different things to choose from. There's sort of a flower piece here, and then of course there's the cattails, which would normally go here. We have like a beach and palm tree look, and then there are some dragonflies. So let me go ahead and show you what your first step will be. And that will be to get some Night of Navy paper. And I have this cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So since I do 2 giveaways, I do 2 cards. I am making 2 cards today, so hopefully that's okay with you. It's what I always do on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I do my Facebook Live. And I like to do my inside panel first. And I don't even know if I've had a chance to show that to you, but I'll show you here in a second. The inside panel is going to be crumb cake, 4 by 5 1/4, and it looks just like that. And then I'm going to need a Stampin' Mat, because this is a photopolymer stamp, and I'll be stamping off a little bit. So let me go ahead and get this set up. So we have our Stampin' Mat, we have our crumb cake, and this is our Night of Navy ink. We're only using 1 ink on this card. And then I have the fronds, or the cattails here, the grasses, we'll say grasses, in the background. So on the inside panel, I'm going to stamp one set of grasses a little bit high. I did it a little bit too high, so let's flip that over and try again here. It's always a little easier when you can put your head right over the top. However, the camera sort of prevents me from doing that. So there's one, and we'll go ahead and quickly do the other panel. Oh, I did the same thing. Oh, goodness. Let me do this again. There we go. And down. All right, then we're going to take that cute little dragonfly stamp. We're going to ink that up, and we're just going to put some dragonflies about right there. Doesn't that look cute? I love that. We're going to do the same thing over here. Just like that. And then we have a sentiment that we're going to stamp on the inside. So this is a really appropriate sentiment, I think, for right now, just to keep us focused on what is important, because the outside says, enjoy the little things, and then the inside is going to say, and everything else will work out. So true. So I think we just have to keep focused on what's important. And right now, that's spending time with our immediate family. And yes, we do have to make some sacrifices, but I promise it will all work out. All right, so let's go ahead now and just put this on the inside of our cards, and then we'll have that done and can move on. So I'm going to flip this over, add a little glue here to the back. We'll do the same one for this panel. And then we'll get these put into our inside panels of our card base. There we go. So glue is kind of nice because you can wiggle it into place, and that always works out so great. There we go. Okay, so now the next thing that we've got to do is a little stamping. I should bring this back in. Do a little stamping on the front panel here. So now I actually want to stamp a little bit higher than the bottom. So I should be able to do this perfectly since I just accidentally practiced on a couple of those inside panels. So I am going to probably bring this in a little bit, and we are going to stamp Night of Navy on Night of Navy, and we're going to go all the way across the bottom here. And I'm bringing it a little higher so that when I put that die cut in the background, the cattails will kind of be a little bit higher. There we go. So it's going to look like this. I know that's probably hard to see, but it does look really nice. Trust me on that. And it's going to look even better once we get the card all set up here. So we're just going to keep on going all the way across. And again, I'm bringing it up just a little bit from the bottom because I want those grasses to be a little bit taller in the background from what our die cut is, because the die cut is going to go flush with the bottom. So this is now ready. The next thing we're going to need is a piece of scrap, and this is in crumb cake. So what you will want to do is take the outside sentiment. We're going to go ahead and ink that up. And you are going to stamp that twice. I just inked up my pad this morning, and it's just stamping so beautifully. Sometimes as your stamping looks a little bit faded, don't forget that it's important to re-ink your pads once in a while so you get that really bold and brilliant look. Then you're going to stamp your dragonflies, just a couple of them. And then what you do is you cut this out with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, so I did that in advance, but I did want to show you how beautifully those stamped on scrap. And let me go ahead and show you what the finished look is. So we are done stamping, so I'm going to put the ink away. And let me see if I can find where I put all of that. Oh yes, here we go. So then once you have those stamped, you want to cut them out, and we're going to use the Tasteful Labels dies. And I did this in advance just to save a little time. And there's this sort of, you can create sort of a pennant with this. So you'll notice that I have like a pennant banner at the top. It actually has this peak on both sides. So just go ahead and cut those out with that particular Tasteful Labels die. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue that onto our card. So I'm going to flip that over, and we're just going to put a little glue here at the bottom of both of these. And then what you want to do is take this label, I'm going to hold it up here to the camera so you can see what I'm doing, and I don't know, go about a little over a ½ inch or so from the left side and pop that on there. Try to keep it nice and straight up and down, and just have it so that that little peak goes over just a little bit, and then we're going to trim that even with our scissors. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Uh-oh, I put the glue on the wrong side. Give me a second. I have to wipe that off. Okay, try it again. You guys are probably laughing at me, but I can't tell because, like I said, I'm unable to see. Oh no, I did have it on the right side. Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on. I am struggling not only with my technology, but with my gluing abilities here today. So now, which side do I need it? I need it here, the original side that I had it on. Oh, you guys ever have days like that? Today seems to be one of those days for me. Hopefully I'll get better. I have a downline meeting tonight, and I need to be on my game, and I need to have this technology figured out so that we can have a really good Zoom meeting on Facebook in our private group. All right, there we go. So we've got that done. The next thing we're going to do is take one of our paper snips, and we're just going to trim this even. There's one, and here is the other. Looks good. Well, at least I didn't mangle that. So that is ready to go. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the most important thing that we have to put onto this card, which is this die cut right here. So let's take a look at that. So what you'll need is a piece of crumb cake, and I have this cut at 2 1/4 by 5 3/4. Then what you want to do is you want to use, because look at how tiny these little pieces are. They're very hard to glue in place. So one thing that you can use is adhesive sheets. So I have one cut. These are 6 inches wide, and then they have strips that go all the way down to make it easy to put on your project. So I cut one at 1 1/2 inches wide by 6 inches, and I will show you how to put it together. So again, you have your crumb cake 2 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I want you to take a look at the die, which is somewhere. Here it is. So I have a die already put on here, and I want you to think about this. So one of those pieces of adhesive is going to have to go a little bit higher than the others because the die is very tall in the center and not so tall on the sides. So to do that, this is how I did it. So go ahead and put one kind of right in the middle, and then put the next one towards the top. And then you have a choice. You can either cut this edge off, and like I did here, or if that's too much of a problem, which it can be because you just aren't in the mood to cut things, especially sticky adhesive with your scissors, just go ahead and do it this direction, and then it sits on there perfect. So it looks like that. So that's how you put the adhesive sheets on the back. So then when you're doing your die cutting, which next step looks like this, let me get my wastebasket here. then you're going to turn it over. So I've just run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Turn it over, and then you can kind of, if you pull it up, like curl it up, if you kind of curl it up, it will take it away quite nicely without you having to push and pull. So that works well for me anyway, especially when I'm doing a long border die like this. Then, oh, and this one just looks perfect. There was only one little scrap left on the inside. Oh, maybe a couple more. But there it is. It looks perfect. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do our coloring before we actually put this on the card, because believe it or not, there is a little bit of coloring on these cattails. So let me grab my scrap paper here, put this on here so you can see what we're doing. We're going to take the crumb cake, the dark crumb cake Stampin' Blend, or you could use like a soft suede marker or maybe a crumb cake marker. I didn't actually experiment with my markers, but if you don't have Stampin' Blends, I'm sure you have something you can use. And then what I do is I just start at the top with the thick end and bring it down. Now you don't want to start all the way at the top because you want to make sure that you don't put the blend on the very tip. You want to leave the tip, this, you want to leave that blank because it will show up very beautifully contrast. See how beautifully contrasting that is? That's what we're after. So we're going to go ahead and do that to all of these. And it doesn't take very long. There's not too many of them. So there we go. We're done already. Then to put it onto our card, again, I'm going to grab my wastebasket. You're going to flip it over, and then you're just going to peel this little section away. So you can kind of bend the paper a little bit, and that gives you a little lever to grab onto those adhesive backing. So you can pull it away pretty easily. So let me go ahead and quickly do this, and then we'll put it on the card. So we're almost there. We have had such nice weather in Minnesota. See, I can't really see what you guys are commenting, so I have to just kind of make up conversation as I go. And today's going to be another nice day. It was so nice here yesterday that Steve actually took the afternoon off from work and just spent the day outside working. Well, he didn't actually take he took work off from his normal job, and then he worked in our grove, stacking wood for winter. And not that we use wood for burning, but we like to have it for bonfires and things like that. All right, so I have this ready. I'm going to flip it over, and because I don't have glue at the very bottom, I'm just going to take a little bit of glue right here and get this all ready. And that way, nothing will catch when you're putting your card into the envelope. So then just center it in. Actually, I'm going to go at it like this. It's going to be a little bit wider than your card, and that's okay, because you can always trim those edges even with your scissors. So get the glue end just where you want it first, and then go ahead and press your cattails down, and that has the adhesive sheeting on the back. So once those are pressed into place, they are staying there forever and ever. There it is. Oh, and then it looks like we have one that didn't get adhesive sheeting on. So in that case, go ahead and take your glue, add just a little tinge to the back. It's hard to add a little tinge. Whoops, there we go. I did it. And then just press that into place. Now that will stay too. All right, then flip it over and trim those edges even. And there it is. So you will be happy to know that since we're making 2 cards, this is what you can do if you ever want to store something that you have prepared. So I just take the adhesive backing off. It's all ready to go onto my card. I just stored it on my silicone mat. So we're ready to go with this one too. I figured you didn't need to see me do both of those because the process was the same and it wasn't super complicated and it takes a long time. So this will make the video just a tad shorter. All right, so we're going to set this in. Again, making sure that you have the glue part put down before you push down the adhesive sheeting, because that gives you a little bit of time to wiggle that into place so you get it absolutely even with the bottom of the card. And that looks good. So once the glue is where you want it and you have that bottom ready, it looks like I got it a little bit high. I'll push that back. There we go. Then you can go ahead and push down the cattails, and these all look like they're in place really well. Then flip it over and just trim even with your edge. There we go. So now there's only one more thing to add to this card to make it perfect, and that is dragonflies. So what I did is I pre-cut those in advance, and then so I wouldn't lose them. This is another thing you can do is you have little pieces and you want to store them. Just store them right on your roll of glue dots because we're going to be putting them on anyway, so might as well just store them there. So I'm going to flip this over so I have my pick part of the Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to take the small dragonfly first. Whoops, he got away. There he is. And we're just going to float him about right here. And then take the little bit bigger one and put him a little bit higher. So there's one set. And now we can do the same thing for the second card. So put him right here above the grass line, and then put your second one just a little bit higher. There we go. And the cards are done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I am very sorry I wasn't able to communicate very well with you because my iPad is showing nothing. So hopefully you are hearing me and seeing me and that this wasn't all for naught. So here are all the cards. Again, I will give away 2 of them on Tuesday. And the giveaway with the cards will be, hold on, I had it here, 2 yards of our denim ribbon, which is absolutely fabulous. And I think that's all I have to tell you. There's a great sale going on at Stampin' Up! And you may want to check into that. Today is the last day to sign up for my kit to go. So just in case you're watching this later, December 10th. So check that out at my blog, www.stampingtoshare.com. And today is also the last day to sign up for Paper Pumpkin. So I think that's it. I think that was everything I was going to share with you. So have a great weekend, everyone. I truly appreciate you, and I will be back here on Tuesday with another Stampin' Chat with Kay. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.